Hey everybody, Nathan Baird from cleveland.com here along with Doug Lesmerises, Stephen Means. These are our game time decisions, the factors that you should keep in mind as Ohio State and Northwestern get ready to play the Big Ten championship game later today in Indianapolis. I'm going to go first. Northwestern comes into this game with a really strong defense, one of the best in the Big Ten, really strong linebacker core, good back end. They're averaging or only allowing 3.79 yards per rush. That's about, I think, ranks about fourth in the Big Ten. Ohio State's the best rushing team in the Big Ten, getting 5.5 yards a game. We have covered throughout this week about what what Northwestern has in the back end of the defense. Some talented guys who can make plays on the ball, who are good in coverage. I think Ohio State needs to come out early and really establish the run and give not only Justin Fields some room to breathe in this game a little bit, but also to get this offensive line who missed the last game, who haven't played in 3 weeks, to give these guys who are coming back a chance to kind of establish themselves. I think the best way to do that is by letting them get out and get into what they like to do most, I think, which is run block, mow people down, knock people over. It's not going to be easy. This is a really good Northwestern defense, especially that linebacker core. But I would look to Ohio State to try to really establish that foothold early, get some early yardage, some early down success, make it easier on Justin Fields in the later downs, or to earn the respect from Northwestern that they can get the kind of yardage you need on second and third down so they can throw on first down with, advantageous personnel and schemes and things like that. Doug, what is your game time decision?
So Steven tracks this stuff during the game and then writes after the game about what was the outcome of the decisions that we said were a big deal. So Steven's going to have to track this. Get your pen and your pad out. I'm curious how much Northwestern blitzes, because I don't know, Tom Allen and that Indiana defense and the Indiana defensive coordinator, who's like everybody loves now, they really dialed up some stuff, especially in the second half against Ohio State. They're blitzing 2 linebackers and a safety at the same time. They did that at least 3 times, and they were getting guys to Justin Fields. And so I don't know if that's Northwestern's instinct. It feels like they have a lot of much more of an instinct to maybe drop 7 and 8 guys in coverage sometimes and just do a 3 or 4 man pass rush and see, if you can find a throwing window against a pretty good back 7. But will they maybe think like, well, we can't do that against Justin Fields? Or will they maybe stick to that, just try to take away easy throws, and maybe Justin Fields will have moments where it feels like he has all day, but there's nobody open. So I'm curious the strategy of that. And then if they do come after him, all right, well, if they're not super great at it or they're not super comfortable doing that, do they come after Justin Fields and then that's when he burns you? It's like he gets rid of it quick, and now all of a sudden he's hitting Garrett Wilson on a little slant and away he goes because you blitz 2 guys. So I think there's some strategy there. When you have a good defense against a high-flying offense, do you do what you do? Or do you decide, we're good, but it's not going to be good enough. We've got to take a few more risks. I don't know where Mike Hankwitz, the Northwestern defensive coordinator, is going to come down on that. It's nothing to lose for Northwestern. I mean, what does it matter? Who knows what even the bowl situation is going to be? So they could say, what the heck, go for broke, and then maybe it works, or maybe Justin Fields drives them nuts. But how often they try to blitz is what I think the decision Northwestern's going to have to make.
Definitely something to watch. Steven, what is your game time decision?
Yeah, mine kind of plays into both of you guys is a little bit. Justin Fields is averaging 3 sacks a game as an Ohio State football player. That's just what it is. He's got 15 this year in 5 games, and he was around 3 a game last year. And some of that is offensive line, but then and great pressure. But some of that is, he holds onto the ball and tries to make plays. But Northwestern isn't Indiana to some of the points that Doug was talking about. And they do kind of sit back and force you. They want to see if you can drive on them. And in those situations where you're not going to get pressured nearly as much as you did against Indiana, I think this is an opportunity for maybe this offensive line to have a day where they keep their quarterback upright the entire game. No one touches him. And even in those situations where Justin Fields holds it a little bit longer, because he's Justin Fields, he can squirm out and maybe get 4 or 5 yards on a scramble or throw it away or find an open receiver. But I just think this is a day where, because it's not going to be the type of at least it doesn't seem like it's going to be the level of pressure that Indiana brought, but it's still a pretty quality defense. This is a day where maybe this offensive line challenges itself to keep Justin Fields upright all day and he doesn't hit the ground unless he's scrambling. So I want to see that. I want to see if they can have 0 sacks.
The 3 different things to keep an eye on today at Lucas Oil Stadium. Come back to cleveland.com/OSU after the game for full coverage, analysis. Listen to the Buckeye Talk pod. We'll be recording right after the game.